Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Eddie Marcus here again, spokesman and advocate of basic human rights for all people. I want to take a moment and speak to you on the subject matter. They want to steal the country and rule you. My conversation will start off basically addressing those who are victims so much so of this plot. We're speaking of the blacks, people of color. We're speaking of the poor of every color. And we are speaking to the American population. They, the Republicans, they want to deny your existence. The poorest of the poor. Those of you who live in tent cities. Those of you who sleep under buildings, behind dumpsters. Those of you who can't find work or have work, but can't afford the cost of living. They have leaders, these Republicans do, that are talking about building new gate cities for their followers and treat the poor like migrant workers. And I think we might all be familiar with what that's like. Yes, and the poor citizens have to find and accept any slave job for slave wages in order to receive any assistance that might be coming from the people. They want to cut back on the problems they've created by the system. And these problems require funding. Social Security, they got a problem with that. Medicare, they got a problem with that. Housing, they got a problem with that. Then this is just to name a few. They want to deny the history of certain peoples, especially blacks. They want to burn books. They want to deny certain realities. They want to prevent convenient voting. If there are things in your life that you're being denied, only slaves will accept it. They don't want you to vote while they're trying to steal your vote. So I say to everybody, wake up. This system is temporary, and I am, and humanity is waiting for us to wake up. If you haven't gathered it yet, my advocacy is for a new system, a different system. There is nothing that can be done to this system to fix the problems of it. This system, my friends, is doing exactly what it is supposed to do. And the subject matter is they are trying to steal your country and rule you. Well, I don't know if you know it, but white people are in jail, and they are in prison, and they are in hell, just like us all. They don't own anything, not even 40 acres, nor mule. Everything they got, they stole. You don't have good paying jobs because politicians have stolen it for the rich. You don't have housing adequately, shelter, if you want to call it that. Why? Because the politicians have designed it so that the rich benefit. You don't have adequate education and health care. Why? Because the politicians have designed it in such a way that the politicians and that the rich can have it. But humanity requires and demands a new system. And my advocacy, again, is for that new system. You know, ladies and gentlemen, I feel confident to stand here and say these things to you. And it should be easy and simple for you to decide that you would like to be a part of a different kind of system. A system that brings peace to all parties, prosperity to all parties, freedom to all parties, joy to all parties, happiness to all parties. A system that allows each of we the people to experience by living our own dreams. A system, my friends, that is assured and guarantees to us food and clothing and shelter and education and health care, transportation, infrastructure that allows us to live the life probably all humanity imagines. This, my friends, is the expression of a reality that you have to be blessed to understand. That first of all, everything that I mentioned, all of the resources required for its manifestation have been given freely. It might be on the earth, in the earth, or above the earth. Those resources might be seen or invisible. Now, those are resources outside of ourselves, but they are resources within each of us. We've been designed that way, that each of us require a bit of all of that stuff that I just mentioned, as far as our satisfaction is concerned. And not only that, each of us have something that we desire to do, a purpose for being here that would allow us to feel great about participating. And that participation allows us to create, engage our hands. We are the ones that create every resource that's in the reservoir of goods and services. And we do so because we got everybody involved in such an abundance that no one goes without. Now, look, ladies and gentlemen, you don't have to be a genius to see that. That is simple. And when you think about that, think about how hard people will try to deceive you because they won't be honest with you. For the past 2.5 years, they tried to hide the fact that this election of 2020 was under attack by the Republicans who tried to steal it, who lied, and got a whole millions of people of this country believing everything that was told to them. And everything that they announced that they did, they don't believe any of that. They only believe the lie. And the challenge took place. And that voice that spoke the lie mentioned nothing of the challenge. And the truth was exposed to a certain degree. It could have been exposed to those who received and accepted those lies. But the people who were damaged, specifically, directly, chose to accept a payoff rather than allow we the people, or those people who had bought into a lie, to know the truth. That payoff silenced the perpetrator. And so they took the payoff. Millions of people who bought into that lie still believe that lie, still out there arguing that lie, waiting for the next election to take place, gearing themselves up to be an expression of a retaliation toward that lie. People who have joined into the government, the state governments, with the plan of doing everything they possibly can, even still to take over. You see, when they did this, they weren't just trying to take over from the blacks, even though that was a main concern. They weren't just trying to take over from poor people, even though that was a main concern. But by the way they were doing it, they were taking the country from the American people, right from there in front of their nose. Just lied to you, America, lied to you, and still lying to you. And so just hanging on to a system that brought this about is not good enough. It is not good enough. What am I saying to you? I'm saying that this capitalist system I'm not knocking democracy. But this capitalist system is it's no good. It's no good. And when I say it's no good, what do I mean? I mean you got poverty and you got wealth. You got crime, you got violence, you got terror, you got racism and hatred and bigotry. You got lying and cheating and stealing. You got it all, ladies and gentlemen. Kids in school getting murdered. People at churches getting murdered. People at the grocery stores getting murdered. People at a party getting murdered. And people saying, give more guns. Now, what do you think is going on? So the choice is this what you want to continue to have? Because this is what you got. And it's only going to get worse. And these who will take this country are going to rule you. And I don't even know what that's going to be like. But you do have a choice. You can decide to make a change. You can decide to say that we're going to have a new system. And you can decide we're going to design that system that would allow that which was described to happen. You don't even have to wonder. You just say, well, what do we want? Peace. How do you get peace? There we go. Prosperity. How are we going to do that? There you go. So we just design it, utilizing what we already have. But our new purpose is us. Not me, but us. So I thought, ladies and gentlemen, I would just take a moment and share that with you, because if we don't wake up, that simple act of lying that Donald Trump didn't bring to the country, but he brought it to the degree that everybody else felt emboldened. They felt freedom to get up and exercise their lying and cheating, and not people so confused as to cry and shame. This is another reason why I advocate the kind of system that I do. Because people so big liars, and you don't know what to trust. But what I've just shared with you engages all the people to accomplish this end. And everybody's benefiting, so there's no way they can cheat or attempt to cheat without exposing themselves. This is something that the people give life to. Not a political party, not just some folk. It's all of us living our lives every day. Every day we are participating in the system. When we go to our work, we are participating in the system for the greatness of the system, not just for $1, not just so we can pay a bill, because now we have no bills. We have no bills. Imagine all of the things that you engage in today, and just how much and how hard you have to work if you got a job, or take what you got if you got something, to just live from week to week, from month to month. Just think about all of those pains gone. Why? Because life have arrived. Why? Because you woke up. Thank you.